Today on Earth Focus, Hamburg, Germany, Europe's new green capital, may be the model for the cities of tomorrow. Correspondent Constantino de Miguel reports, coming up on Earth Focus.
Germany, Europe's first industrial powerhouse, is coming to terms with the environment. The government decided to phase out all the country's nuclear power plants by 2022, a drastic policy reversal that followed Japan's disaster at Fukushima. But the closures also stem from a growing awareness that any economic growth needs to respect man and nature. Perhaps the best example of the country's new attitude lies here in the northern port city of Hamburg. Hamburg was named European Green Capital 2011 for its impressive transformation of its port, its industry, and the daily lives of its 4 million inhabitants. So what are the forces driving this faithful journey to sustainability? At the crux, urban planning and architecture.
If you look around, all these buildings are, in a way, of course, all built after the latest energy standards and requirements. But many of them also do additional things like solar power or things like that.
For the lucky inhabitants of this renovated district called Hafen City, jobs, shops and schools are all within walking distance or just a short boat ride away. Hafen City is Europe's largest inner-city urban development venture. By the time these children become young adults, Hamburg city center will have expanded by 40%, reclaiming the city's historic industrial port sites.
In total, we have 10.5 kilometers water promenades. And that's really something very special, that we have the chance here in Hamburg really to build lots of buildings very close to the water, but also to give the people the chance to walk very close to the water and actually to feel that they are in an old harbor area, which is, by the way, very close to the old historical city center of Hamburg.
We've seen that actually the environmental protection is a priority for this renovation project. Could you mention some examples?
We almost don't have cars in Hafen City. The garages are underneath the buildings, but we have underground stations. We have lots of public transport, also such as public boats, and you have huge distances you can make by bicycle or you can walk. And we use, of course, intelligent energies like solar, geothermy, biogas.
In Hafen City, environmental-friendly construction is priority one. As an incentive for developers and investors, authorities have introduced an eco-label for buildings. Behind the fancy architectural designs is an extremely small carbon footprint for heating and power, thanks to a huge increase in the use of renewable energy sources. The old Hamburg Harbor Quarters and its industrial buildings are making way for an area of high urban density, providing more than 40,000 jobs and around 5,000 homes. But who is going to foot the bill for this ambitious urban project? The Hamburg taxpayer and the developers, of course. Also the people who choose to live in this futuristic setting.
Living in Hafen City has definitely also cost advantages. You are close to 150,000 jobs around here. You can bring, without using a car, your children to school. You can go shopping. So the cost of living in a dense inner city mixed-use urban area as part of this concept is also a very big benefit to the households, so that compensates for higher cost in terms of the building.
Amidst all these eco-friendly residences and commercial sites in construction is the Unilever House, dubbed the world's best office building in 2009. It's a grand example of design and sustainability. Thanks to a second coat in the facade and heat exchangers inside, there's virtually no loss of energy at the European headquarters of Unilever. But this building is not only about respecting the environment, it's a wise investment, according to Unilever's Merlin Kuhne. This is a kind of benchmark for sustainable architecture, but this is very expensive, I guess. The investment you need for all that is quite a lot.
No, in the end it's a savings project. Sustainability does pay off. You can save money in building sustainably. First of all, the way that you use the materials, and the learnings are big enough really to have it not more expensive. And in the end, the usage cost, the annual costs for using the building are, let's say, for example, for electricity, 70% lower than we had in the old building. So in the end, this is beautiful and at the same time a savings project. Electricity that we use here in the building with the LED lightings is, that's for example the LED lighting above me, is all from so-called dark green energy. Dark green energy means it's from small water power plants in the south of Germany, in Bavaria. This is where the electricity is produced. We are saving 60,000 tons of CO2 every year now, because it's not only here, but it's also in our factories all around Germany, where we are using this dark green energy.
The Unilever building in Hamburg, it's 30,000 square meters of efficient, cost-saving features that provide workspaces for almost 1,200 employees. Hamburg boasts one of the best local public transport systems in Europe. That includes a bicycle rental system. When the day is over, this lady just grabs a bike next to her office and heads home. There are about 1,500 of these rental bikes available at 100 stations throughout town. In 2010, over 70,000 people used them. With this and a few hundred other climate protection measures, Hamburg promises to reduce its CO2 emissions by 40% by the year 2020, an ambitious goal for this city on the River Elbe. The price? Over 23 million euros annually. But Hamburg is first and foremost a port within quick reach of the Baltic and the North Seas. A non-stop flow of goods arrives here day and night from every corner of the world. As one of the most important container hubs, the port has applied a remarkable automated workflow that's become a respected model for productivity and energy efficiency.
We really want to become CO2 neutral. That is a very, very long journey we have to take, but we are very much advanced already. And because we use energy from renewable sources here, we are already at the forefront of CO2 reduction.
Will cities of the future really be self-sufficient? That utopian dream may be coming true already in Hamburg's Wilhelmsburg district. The main idea, according to Chief Urban Planner Uli Hellweg, is that Wilhelmsburg will draw most of its energy supply from local renewable sources.
With all these different components of regenerative energy, we will supply 4,000 households in Wilhelmsburg. That is 20% of the households of Wilhelmsburg with power.
Any innovative idea to reach the target of zero CO2 emissions is welcome. Take, for example, this watercraft, the Alsterwasser. Developer Heinrich Klingenberg says it's the world's first commercially run passenger ship where pure hydrogen serves as fuel, which is converted into electrical energy by means of oxygen. The only exhaust produced is water steam. The 50 kilowatt capacity fuel cells power the ship's electric motor that glides silently across the Alster at a speed of 14 kilometers per hour with up to 100 passengers on board. So hydrogen shipping works, but for a wider use of this solution, we need to fix the problem of how we can store energy.
If we want to go for renewable resources, then we have to have a storage, because renewable resources like here in northern Germany, we're talking about wind especially. And wind, as we all know, there is a lot of wind at a certain time, but that's not necessarily the same time when people have the demand for energy. So therefore you need a storage. And from our point of view, hydrogen produced from wind from renewable resources via electrolysis is the perfect medium of storage.
The hydrogen ship will help relieve the environmental burden on the city center because it serves an ecologically sensitive area in Hamburg, the Alster Lake, which lies in the very midst of its metropolitan area. So will cutting-edge technologies save us from an environmental disaster? Could it be that hydrogen ships, self-sufficient houses and districts, and sustainable ports will pave the way for a new, cleaner way of producing and consuming? Only time will tell, but it seems that Hamburg is helping to illuminate a smart path to sustainability, helping us to see firsthand that using natural energy to power the future is not just a dream.
U.S. airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.